Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Guitar Souls podcast. This is episode number 35, is that right, Mike?
I think it's 36.
Okay, 36, let's go with that.
I
Let's
think.
just throw arbitrary numbers out there like any of that matters.
69, 420.
Yep,
etc.
blaze it, motherfucker.
Amen.
All of that stuff. Cool, yeah, so I am one of your hosts, Mr. Levi Clay, and I'm here with my good buddy, Mike McLaughlin. How's it going?
Very good, thank you. How about you, mate?
Yes, mate, not too bad. Not
Good.
too bad. Well, still going through the rigmarole of, selling and buying houses. It's,
Been a wheeler dealer.
some people would call that a first world problem.
I mean, it kind of is, but at the same time, wanting to have a home is a kind of problem that everybody faces.
Yes, of course that is true. But we're in that position where this place is sold and we don't have a new place bought yet. So
There's plenty of space in my garage, mate.
yeah, that may be where I end up. Who knows? That is actually the stress of the entire situation. Is exactly that. It's like, shit. Is the smart thing to do here to move out of this house, move into a rented house for a couple of months, and wait for the right house? And the answer is very definitely no to that. Because I don't want to have to put all of my shit into boxes, move it all into a new house, and then immediately put it all into boxes and move it into another house. So,
Or just put the things that aren't essential into storage and live with the stuff that you just need.
oh, it's still just the cost of having everything taken out of this house and put into this desk, dismantled, put into so the moving quote from removals company is £800.
Oh, reasonable.
Reason, yeah. But I mean, I'd charge £800 just to take this desk apart this.
You know you could do better by just getting like 4 or 5 of your mates, buying a case of beer and some pizzas. Have them help you shift stuff.
Potentially, but it all comes down to this desk, and I cannot imagine anything more stressful than being involved in taking this apart. Because I was single-handedly involved in putting it together, and I know what a bastard it was. So
Nothing a chainsaw won't sort.
yeah, true. I might just be in that position where it might just be best to buy a new desk. Just chainsaw this one apart and buy a new desk. But...
No.
Anyway, yeah. So that's me. What about you? You've just been out on tour, right? And you're off again tomorrow.
So I was in Switzerland last weekend.
That?
Played in Alt St. Johann. We played at Rock the Hell Festival, which was fucking great. Somehow we ended up with the closing slot, so we weren't headlining, but we were playing after the headliner, which was at like 12:30 at night.
Is that not headlining?
No, you'd be surprised. Like quite a lot of big festivals that do death metal stuff will have like a band or two after the main band, and it's like almost like a kind of warm down or.
Yeah. So the headliners are getting the prime time slot.
Pretty much. So we're playing with Internal Bleeding, who were the headliner for the States. I think they're from New York, and they are fantastic. They were unbelievable, and we went on after them, and surprisingly there were still people there, and they seemed to have a good time, which was really nice.
That's all you can hope for.
It was a fantastic festival. Thanks again to Sonia and everybody who made it possible for us, really looked after us. And this weekend, yeah, as you said, I'm off to Grabenacht Festival in Germany. So, no rest for the wicked, as they say. I was at the festival. I never slept. I had like 5 hours sleep in 2 days from Switzerland and back. I went back to work the next day. I was at work all week. I finished yesterday. Obviously, we're filming today. I've got the wee man coming back for his dad's at 5. I've got stuff on tomorrow, but not too much. And then we're driving down to Manchester tomorrow night, flying from Manchester to Germany. We've got a car hired to drive to the festival on Saturday. We leave at like 1 or 2 in the morning on Sunday to drive back to the airport to fly back on Sunday to get home probably after dinner time Sunday to go back to work on Monday.
I just don't know how you do it.
I tell you how I do it. A shitload of fucking caffeine.
You know what? And we're not even sponsored by Monster.
No, we're not.
But you know who we are sponsored by?
Who?
What an utterly professional segue, right?
That's beautiful.
Yeah, this podcast has been brought to you today by our good friends over at Ormsby. So Perry and the guys at Ormsby make fabulous guitars out of Australia. And we've got a couple of them behind us here. We'll be adding some more to the collection soon. Yeah, well, so there's 2 there. Which is your favourite?
I think the Goliath's my favourite, if I'm honest.
So the headless. Why don't you grab it? So for anyone interested, the kind of people that I pitch the Ormsby guitars to are always the kind of guys that are wanting to get into. Oh no, they found the secret of how we hang the guitar up.
It doesn't come with a screwdriver.
Yeah,
sold separately.
I always recommend them to the kinds of people that are wanting to get into the multi-scale extended range instrument things. and don't want to break the bank, because I think Ormsby offer the most kind of cost-effective, without compromising on quality, instruments out there. Plus, you get a ton of great options if you get involved in the runs. So this is your Goliath.
This is my Goliath. This is the Moore edition, which is Ben Moore, who was just a member of the community. And everyone put forward for a competition. What's your favourite design? What would you like to see as a design? We'll pick one. I think it was based on public votes, and that will become one of the models. And this was Mr. Moore's design, which was the green burst fade on the top, maple neck, standard humbuckers. You still got the nunchucker and Della Creme, which is a standard set of pickups. Like, I don't see the point in changing them unless you are hell bent that every single one of your guitars has to have a specific set in it. And you also get glow dots on the side. You probably can't see them just now.
Yep. Astonishingly lightweight guitar.
When I first got it, and I tell people this all the time, I went to collect it from, I think it was DHL or one of the courier depots. And when I got the box, my first thought was, fuck, they've not put the guitar in here.
I absolutely believe it. It just, with that guitar, weighs absolutely nothing. So,
it's just a dream.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. As I was telling you before, Levi, when we played in London, someone was crowd surfing and rolled over and kicked me in the face, and it knocked the top string clean out of, I think it was a headstock, out in the lock and nut, and it took me less than 3 minutes to get the string back on and up to tune and straight back into playing, which that to me is what you need.
What you actually need is to play in a band that doesn't need to use the high strings. Just get that genty gent going on and just use that low string.
Oh, it was the low B that happened to.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were saying that it was the high string.
No, sorry, it was the low B.
Yeah, cool.
It was also great fun.
Yeah, honestly, I think they're a great option for people that are looking to get into the extended range thing, because I'm an advocate of a lot of things, and your guitars actually kind of, as you know, buck my advocacy. Like, I like the multi-scale thing because multi-scale has it does something so well. I have a 7-string that is standard scale, and the low strings are just too flappy. They're just too flappy, and you can put a thicker string on.
It was a problem you had before as well, which is, I think, why you started looking at baritone scale lengths and other instruments.
You can put thicker strings on a shorter scale, but for the tension that I require for that low string, the string has to be so thick that it stops sounding good. So I want a slightly thinner string, and the multi-scale kind of solves that problem. So
absolutely, yeah.
But you play a 6-string, so
I play a 6-string tuned to B standard, so I've got B, E, A, D, F sharp, B, and I use 62 gauge to 13, and that's on drop A at the moment. Surprisingly, perfect tension for me. Maybe not for everyone, but does the job for me.
Yeah, so cool. Head on over to Ormsby's website, check them out. And do they have any runs going on at the moment?
At the moment, Run 8 and Run 9 are kind of in delivery. I think people who ordered through dealers might have started getting theirs shipped out. Run 8 and Run 9 are currently being QC'd if you bought directly from Ormsby with them, and some are being shipped out as well. And I think it's not necessarily we'll get all the Run 8 ones done and then we'll do Run 9. They're doing the Run 8 up to, or what they usually do is they do guitars up to, right, we need strings for that one, something specific we don't have right now, or this person's got a payment plan and there's X missing or whatever, so they just do them as they can and get them out the door as early as they can, really. So
the question was more, are there new runs coming?
What else is next? I haven't seen too much, to be honest. You can check the website. The next run is Run 10.
We'll do that when we do our mid-roll.
Yes. I think those are... No, I'm talking nonsense. Run 8 was the SX anniversaries. Sorry.
But you mentioned something really cool there when you said that, which was payment plans.
Yes, they're very, very flexible with payment plans, actually. When you enroll in the listing for whatever run they're doing, when it comes to prepayment, you can pay in full, or I think they've got 3 or 4 different options. Like, you can split it in 2, split it over 4. You can make a deposit and then make a payment once something's happened at the factory and then the next thing happens. Like, they are very flexible. And I've seen quite a few people comment to say, you even gave me an extra few months because of extenuating circumstances. I really appreciate it.
Yep.
So it's accommodating as it gets, and, well, you can't ask for more.
Yeah, and you'll get something that you enjoy out at the end of it. So,
oh, absolutely.
Thanks, guys. Thanks so much for the support. We really do appreciate it.
Love you guys.
Yeah. On the note of interesting multi-scale frets and frets and frets and frets and guitar gear, I got another new toy.
Oh, show me.
I mean, you've already seen it.
Whap it out.
Stop pretending.
I know. Listen, I'm trying to build hype here. Jeez, get it?
There's a hype there.
I can't do this pointing behind me thing.
So yeah, True Temperament, my friends over at True Temperament have sent me over one of their replacement necks
Beautiful.
that I will be doing a little review on YouTube. I will be chucking this on a Telecaster. I've got a disgusting leopard print Telecaster body to put it on.
You say disgusting, I say abhorrent.
Yes. So yeah, you know, the True Temperament thing, as some of you guys know, I already have a guitar with True Temperament on. It's behind my head. Mine is Regis with True Temperament and Evertune. Yeah, but that guitar is in drop C, so I thought it would be nice to get to do some comparisons, standard tuned to standard tuned. So I'll be able to compare this to a Telecaster and see how they hold up. And we've had some interesting suggestions and feedback questions on this, which the one that really got me was somebody said, how would you feel about doing a full recording where the True Temperament guitar was one of the guitars in the mix, but not all of the guitars in the mix?
That's right, because I seen the comment was something like frequency spill.
Yeah.
Was that the right comment?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm totally going to do that, because that is obviously one of the big concerns. People look at the True Temperament neck and they say, oh, but isn't it going to sound bad if your bass player doesn't have it? And it's a difficult one, because obviously the guys at True Temperament are going to say no.
And other musicians are going to say yes, because bass players don't know how to tune their instruments.
But
I'm only kidding, guys.
They'll say the same with guitar players as well. No, it doesn't matter, right? No, you won't hear a difference. But if that's true, if you won't hear a difference, then what's the point? You should hear a difference. But yeah, I'll be interested to see that. So keep an eye or an ear peeled, eyes and ears peeled on my YouTube channel, because I'll do that at some point. Still, yeah. Who knows when though? Because house shit. Anyway, sorry, were you going to say something there?
No.
We've got a ton of things to talk about today.
We do, some of which I have no clue about, some of which you have no clue about. So today's like the mystery episode.
Virtually none of which. And I'm hoping that we can do it this way moving forward.
I like it.
Yeah. A little bit of behind the scenes for people watching or listening. Generally speaking, when we do the Guitar Souls podcast, we sit down for half an hour beforehand just to iron out, not a script, but a running order of what we're going to be talking about. And because, me and Mike are good friends, and the reason we do this podcast is not for business, but because we're just really filming us having conversations that we'd have about shit anyway.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. It's quite candid.
Yeah, so
for all you voyeurs out there,
we would sit and talk about what we're going to talk about before the show, and Mike would make all these cracking jokes, and I'd just be laughing. I'd be like, no, stop talking. You've got to say stuff like that on the air. And all of the chemistry on the subject kind of disappears after.
You think so?
After the initial conversation. When you're talking about a subject for a second time, you feel like you're going through the motions. So last episode, I did spring a lot of subjects on you, and I think that they were quite natural. Mm-hmm. And likewise, you've got some subjects that you have prepared that I am unaware of.
Somewhat serious, somewhat stupid.
That suits me.
Oh, it's fucking brilliant.
Should we start out with something so stupid, something unbelievably stupid?
I would love to start with something stupid.
Da da da.
Oh my goodness!
So Music Radar posted. In fact, I should probably do this at this point, shouldn't I? So Music Radar posted like a pro. So Music Radar posted an article: the 10 best guitar picks. Our pick of the best plectrums. They didn't even put no pun intended.
No, they meant it fully, or they didn't know about it. Yeah, it could be one of the two.
What a. It's annoying. It's a really annoying subject to have to talk about, right? Because obviously I am a huge advocate of picks. I really do care about guitar picks, and because I've played V-picks for as long as I have, and I've got a selection of different models of V-picks that I use for different things.
What button do you press to bring the screen up where it says shameless plug?
Yeah. I just press this one over and over again. Where is it? Shit, where's the mouse? There we go.
Buy our shit.
I'll just do that over and over throughout
to be fair, man, we've sat and played with some of the V-picks, you and I, and been like, I like that one, I'd like that with that one.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of good stuff there.
Yeah.
Sorry, so...
Yeah, but to be clear, the point isn't like, these are the best picks, these are the best picks.
It's subjective.
Yeah, it's these, like, I've tried a lot of things, a lot of picks, and there are certain VPix models that really work for me, that I really love and enjoy. So I genuinely do really care about picks. In fact, I was using, check this one out. I was trying to find the right pick. I was having to record some bass guitar. And I was doing everything fingerstyle, but then I had to do like an up-tempo version of Going Down. So it's just 16th notes for the entire thing. And it was like, the pick just feels a little bit more rocky for this. And I ended up using the Eclipse, and I was using the back end of it because it's round E. It's roundish.
Still got a good point.
It's pointy, but yeah.
For those watching, so you guys can see it.
And I tried several picks, and I was looking for, you know, the one that felt and sounded right, and that was the one I settled with.
Shaped like the drawing a 4-year-old would make of a heart.
Yeah. Yeah. So I genuinely do care about picks. So I'm interested to see what the 10 best guitar picks are, and we can talk about some of the picks that we've played over the years.
We could make our own list as well, the 10 best guitar gauge strings.
Yeah, let's absolutely
string
do
gauges
that.
Even.
Yeah.
I'd say my favourite is 9. That's number 1 for me.
Yeah, I'd say 10. Yeah.
We can meet in the middle at 9.5. We can get a hybrid set.
We can do that.
Sorry, continue.
Yeah, so obviously the reason I feel that they're important is because they are our connection to the string.
Yes.
And you only need to... So some people, like Brian May, plays with a coin, right? We know this. Have you ever picked up like a credit card and tried plucking your strings with a credit card?
Shamelessly, yes.
It sounds different, does it not?
It doesn't sound good.
It doesn't sound good, right? But you would think it's just plucking the string. Why does it not sound good? Like all this stuff makes a difference. Material density, stuff like that, it makes a difference.
Absolutely. Even how comfortably you can hold it affects how you approach the string, how you attack the string, where your position is.
Yep.
There's so many factors.
So let's go through these. At number 1, they put the Dunlop Tortex Standard. Classic bit. I'm even getting to the point where I feel like we've even done this subject on the Guitar Souls at some point. We may well have actually done this because it feels like this kind of stupid shit that we would talk about. But yeah, the Dunlop Tortex Standard, which bog standard pick, been there, done it. The Didario Dura grip.
Never tried one.
It's got the raised bumps on it.
All right, okay. I can kind of see that in the image there.
Anyone that's going for like the classic guitar pick and then trying to innovate a little bit, cool. Well done. Give it a go. I've not played one of these. The Fender 551 shape, the classic celluloid.
Not necessarily that shape, but I've certainly played the Fender celluloid ones, and they slip out your hand without trying.
Okay.
And they also feel weird, if you know what I mean. Like the materials get this. That's just me personally. I think it feels weird. Yep.
These obviously haven't been done in any order, because if the Dunlop Jazz 3 is not number 1 on the list,
then everybody's an idiot.
Then everybody's an idiot, because it is one of the greatest picks I've ever made.
Yes, I've actually got some picks in my pocket.
That's what you use, right?
I'll show you what I've been using recently, because as you say, plectrums are very important, and your pick of them, pardon the pun, is very important. So I'll show you what I've been alternating between recently and kind of finding was best for me. So first of all, we'll give you the grottiest Jazz 3 max grip you've ever seen. That's authentic Mike Sweat and dead skin.
And you make the point there, like that's a Jazz 3 but a max grip version. So it's taking the classic Jazz 3 thing and it's improving on it.
Exactly. And then you've also got the Ultra Grip, which I think is made of Ultex. It's a different material. Is that right?
Yep.
Jazz 3 again, so just sounds a little bit different.
This isn't the Ultex one. This is just the black nylon.
It's just black nylon, yeah. Sorry. I wasn't sure.
Ultex is... Have you got...
That's the Ultex one, yeah, cool. So then I've got a Jazz 3 standard size. Again, just black nylon. And as I mentioned, Ultex. Again, Jazz 3 standard size. And I've got a Jazz 3... It's one of the smaller ones. Sorry, that's the XL, rather. Again, that I play with. So they're the kind of 5 plectrums I've been using. Actually, I also bought a load of the green Tortex standards, because that's what I used to use. Having sucked off James Hetfield in many dreams as a child, loving Metallica and thinking, I mean, if this is what he uses, this is what I need. And I can't go back to it. I'm too used to the point now.
Yeah.
Because the stuff I play is obviously very aggressive.
Yep.
It takes a lot of I'm already quite a heavy hitter, so it changes my tone too much, and it just doesn't feel right for me.
Yep. No, that's fair.
So now you all know my secret weapons.
all jazz threes.
The
So you're a
Dava
jazzer.
Control. That's me. You know me. Big jazz vocabulary.
The Dava control pick. So my memory of this, and you can kind of tell from the picture, is it's got a pattern on it. It's a thicker pick with a dip in the middle, and depending on how close you hold it to the tip, will give the pick more flex.
Correct. So if you imagine it's like 1 mil at the tip, 1 mil at the very top, and then in between where you can see it's beveled, the plastic thins out.
Yep.
It's also got lines under the word control by Dave Story, Pat Pendon. Those are almost like reinforcements.
Yep.
So if you pick, again, pardon the pun, to put your thumb over the first line, you're going to get quite a flexible plectrum, and then as you increasingly get closer to the tip, you're giving it less flexibility because there's less material for it to bend with. Interesting plectrums, not for me.
No, I've not played one, but I remember seeing them.
They used to do the Dava controls that were covered, and they had like a kind of rubber sheath on them for grip. They were quite good, but again, not really for me. Gravity picks, I never really played much gravity picks either.
They're just V picks. They're just V picks. They're just a company that does the thing that V picks does.
Nice.
Acrylic. They have the thing they've got going for them is they've got a better website. I'll give them that. They've got a better website.
Ooh.
But yeah.
How dare you be objective?
It's just that. It's just the idea of like acrylic picks. They have some cool designs, but I can't help but think, why not just go for the original? They've been great with their marketing. Their marketing's been great, which is why they've appeared on this list, and I'm sure VPix won't. But yeah, it's an odd one to me though, because this isn't like Dunlop picks, Fender picks, Didario Duragrip picks. Sorry, Didario picks. This is Gravity picks. Like
everything.
Sorry, are you saying the classic standard, or is it one of the other picks that they make that you like? No, just the entire brand. Cool.
I think it is actually just the fact that they use acrylic. By the looks of what it first line says, an acrylic construction affords Gravity picks a different sound and feel to a lot of other plectrums on the market.
Yeah.
Thousands of variations are available, so which one's the best?
Yeah. The Dunlop 9-on standard. No. So, it's a great pick for acoustic strumming. And they even say it there. Cool, yeah, didn't even read that. But I don't do much of the acoustic strumming, so...
I think I'd rather pick with like a bit of paper, because it's the same thing.
This must look interesting to you, seeing as you like a really sharp point.
I like a sharp point, but that's just too much.
Stab
I remember
you in the face point.
yeah, like the first really sharpened pick I remember trying was a Dino Cazares branded one that was actually a Jim Dunlop. It was like the Tortex standard at the top, but it was like a very sharp point, much the same as this. And it was great for if you just like one or two hits, but see for anything that came to any really controlled picking, it was too sharp. It caught the strings, for me at least, too much. And it was really hard to put any sort of texture into what you were playing. Like you didn't have any dynamic control. It was just too pointed for me. But they're interesting.
Graphtech Tusk picks.
I have never seen a Tusk pick.
You know Tusk though?
In person? Yeah, I know who Tusk is. The fake bone.
Yeah. Cool.
Mostly nuts. Get made by them.
And the Dunlop Tortex Flow.
A familiar tone with modified geometry for faster playing styles.
That's
quite interesting shaped.
That strikes me as the kind of thing you've been to.
Is it so different for the Iltex? It's almost the same except a slightly wider curve.
Yeah. Certainly worth a go. It's a difficult one for me. Like as I say, I've played VPix for like, I don't know, 9, 10, maybe 10 years now. Before that though, I was a big advocate, and it's a shame to not see it on this list, of the Ibanez H16 picks, which the old Paul Gilbert picks.
Okay, yep.
I say H16 because that is the shape. You could buy them without Paul Gilbert's name on. It's just the H16. Played that so long that actually if you were to go to my website now and you look, the icon, the favicon that displays in the tab up in the top corner.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I can do this.
I'm going to do it right now. It's a new level of narcissism on his own website.
Oh, what? My favicon's gone. Oh, no, there you go. It's loaded.
The internet has Round you.
Oh no, my face is in the way. So if you look at that favicon up there, it is a. I say favicon. It's just occurred to me it may be fave icon or fav icon. Who knows?
I have no idea.
No, me neither.
I'm too old for internet lingo with kids.
Yeah, website design. That's
Gosh,
why my
darn
site's
it.
not been updated in God knows how long. In fact, when I look at the last site updates was it was over a year ago on my website, and before that it was it was 18 months before that.
You've been quite busy, to be fair.
That's almost like that's a good reason to update your website to let people know. But no time for that. So yeah, so I used the Ibanez H16 for years and years. Absolutely love that pick. But V-picks now. So, and you're a Jazz 3 guy.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's Jazz 3 for life.
Don't even argue with people like that. Like, you can't.
No.
And that's a stupid thing to say as well. Like, why would you argue with someone over what pick they like?
I was just thinking you were just making a flippant, silly comment there, but you kind of followed up with why would you argue over plectrums anyway?
Yeah, well, there is that.
I mean, the kind of people that argue over plectrums are bassists. And that's true.
That is true.
You mean you use a pick and you don't play fingerstyle? Like, who cares? It sounds good, whatever you're doing.
So, from one stupid subject to another stupid subject. Yes. Ready for the most stupid thing you're going to read all day?
I read this earlier on, actually.
Yngwie Malmsteen says that his debut album saved Fender from going out of business.
Sure it did.
Yeah.
Yngwie. I mean, you bought all of them. That's what saved them.
Yeah, but no, he was buying only vintage ones.
I suppose.
Yeah. So during a conversation with Guitar Magazine, Malmsteen said that his 1984 debut album, Rising Force, played a pivotal role in keeping Fender in business during the company's 80s struggle. The guitarist reached the topic while discussing his Fender signature model, explaining how he's very proud of it. Not only was I the first guy to get a signature model, which is true, and very interesting. I
didn't know that.
Yeah. I was the first guy to ever get a guitar for free from those guys. I don't believe that. I definitely don't believe that.
Nope.
Fender never gave guitars to anybody. They didn't give them to Blackmore, Jeff Beck, Jimi Hendrix, Hank Marvin, or whoever. Saying that
really?
Fender... Say again?
Really?
Yeah, I don't believe really? That. Fender explained why he was the first guy. So in the late 70s, two things happened. This is a quote, Fender almost went out of business, and by 81, they were bought out by two other guys. They started over, basically, and they were trying to put all these people with all these hard rock guitars and stuff. Everyone else wanted one because of Van Halen, right? They've been struggling a bit. Then my Rising Force album came out, and not only did the album turn everything upside, what's on the cover? A Fender Strat. His opinion of himself is amazing.
Oh, man.
That fucking album saved their company. They said that when the album came out. They couldn't build guitars fast enough. Before that, they were selling nothing. So they came to me. Before that happened, I was being offered guitars from every other company and every other amp company in the world. You name it, Gibson even. Whatever you want, we'll give it to you. I said, no thanks. Fender Strats, that's it. Every amp company too. I said, no thanks. Marshalls for me.
This man, to quote, God rest him, Bill Heggie, this man needs Ambry Solaire suppositories because he believes the sun shines out his own arse. Just...
He's also...
oh my goodness.
He's also forgetting the fact that he endorsed Aria.
Is that not Lyle Watt? Get off that screen, Lyle.
Yeah, so he seems to be forgetting the fact that he endorsed Aria. He even had a model with Aria.
XX DLX. What is going on with that? Jeez, oh.
So yeah, only
wait a minute. Yngwie Malmsteen using humbuckers.
Yeah, only Fender is good enough for Malmsteen. Yeah, could there be any more good companies that Malmsteen played guitars for? Do you know of any?
I don't actually, but you do clearly. No way. Fuck off.
That's
you can't see it in that photo, but I believe you.
There you go.
He had a fucking Schecter.
Yeah, also played a Schecter, 1986 Schecter YM1 Malmsteen.
After Rising Force came out?
Yeah.
Which is even better.
Yeah, he left Fender.
How did they save the company? By leaving them?
Yeah.
What a silly man.
Yeah. So
To be fair, that looks like a really good guitar.
it just looks like a Strat to me. It's not even scalloped. Like, come on.
It's not even scalloped.
Yeah. Still. So, yeah, I mean, you know, Malmsteen will be Malmsteen. Malmsteen will say absolute bollocks. It breaks my heart. It really does break my heart because I love his first 5 albums. Maybe 6. But yeah, just monumental douchebag. Monumental douchebag.
But we're going right back like fucking 20 episodes and going to that separating artists from their art.
Yeah.
Like diving right back. But to be fair, it's an ongoing issue. You constantly have to deal with that stuff.
I would encourage everyone to go and read his autobiography, Relentless. Yeah.
I'd rather drink a bath full of Relentless and have a heart attack.
Well, the thing is, there's 2 books that came out very close to each other. There was the biography written by everyone that knows him, and the autobiography that he released as a response, if you like.
Okay, who published it?
What, the biography or the autobiography?
The autobiography?
Not sure.
No, because maybe he saved that company as well for the brink.
Oh, definitely. No doubt.
Yeah.
So
speaking of saving music, unless you've got more you want to add onto this.
Oh, no.
It's
You
just
gonna,
a
is
wee
this you,
segue. I'm stealing the microphone. Sorry, rather the fucking
are you
the mouse. I
wait.
sent you something.
Oh, okay.
So, I'll need to Google this one. So I have this, not a conspiracy theory, but a theory that Billy Ray Cyrus might be the man, and Miley Ray Cyrus might also be behind the scenes, like kind of pulling strings to unite rap and country. You know how we spoke about it before, where there was Brad Paisley and who was it, LL Cool J?
Yeah.
It had the song together and they were trying to unite rap.
Accidental Racist.
country.
Yep.
That's the one. That's the one. Well, I mean, this is obviously a bit more candid, but have you heard Old Town Road, the kind of trap song that was been out on the radio recently? No? Lil Nas X. Because this is quite a cool story, actually. I thought you would have probably been like aware of this.
Right.
So I'll just read straight from Wikipedia. Old Town Road is a song by American rapper Lil Nas X. It was initially released independently on the 3rd of December 2018 and gained popularity on social video sharing app TikTok. As a result, Lil Nas X was signed to Columbia Records, which now distributes the single. This song features a sample of the instrumental piece 34 Ghosts 4 by Nine Inch Nails, with the band members receiving songwriting and production credits. So, sampled a fairly well-known band, gave them credits, released the song, and seems to be doing popular. Just, if you remember, there's quite a few bands took off through MySpace just doing their own promotion stuff.
Yep.
I think Enter Shikari are probably the best example of that. A remix of the song featuring Billy Ray Cyrus was released on April 5th, 2019. A second remix, blah, blah, blah. The important part, in March 2019, the song reached number 19 on the Billboard Hot Country Songs chart before the magazine disqualified it from being included on the chart on grounds it did not fit the country genre, sparking a debate on the definition of the genre. Now, it's like a kind of trap rap song, but it's as country as it gets. The song is literally about riding a horse.
Okay.
Right? So then, had it not been disqualified, Old Town Road would have been the Hot Country Songs #1 song as the chart dated April 6, 2019.
Okay.
Though the song was not re-entered onto the country charts, both the original version of the song and the remix featuring Billy Cyrus eventually reached #1 on the flagship Billboard chart, the Hot 100. It also placed #1 on Billboard's mainstream R&B, hip-hop, rhythmic and dance mix show airplay charts. Internationally, one or more versions of the Old Town Road have topped the national singles charts in Australia, Canada, Germany, Ireland, the Netherlands, New Zealand, Norway, Switzerland and the United Kingdom, and charted within the top 10 in various other markets.
Okay.
It's pretty ridiculous. So the song was out and climbing the charts. It was disqualified pretty much. And then from out of nowhere, as far as I'm aware, Billy Ray Cyrus just went, all right, okay, well, I'm going to sing one of the choruses and you lot can re-release it. So if I'm on it, it has to be country because I'm Billy Cyrus. I done Achy Breaky Heart, for God's sake.
Right. For clarification here, which version was disqualified?
The original version that was just Lil Nas X,
Okay.
because it was just rap. or it's not. It's weird. You'd need to hear the song if you want.
Which is exactly what I'm going to do.
Cool. So you've not heard the song. Maybe take some context away.
I'm going to mute the audio from the stream though,
That's
so
fine.
that won't be there. But I will give my live feedback on it.
Let's do it.
And this is something that I can definitely talk about.
Look for the original one, because I'm not big in the song, but I love the idea that another musician has went, that's pretty shit what you've done by not giving them the credit they deserve, because this truly is a country song.
Is it this one?
Then. Yes. I don't know why the video was something recorded for Red Dead Redemption, but
okay,
I've never seen the video.
So I will give my thoughts on it. And now, of course, I'm not qualified to say something is or isn't country, but I can certainly talk about the subject of country music, saying something is and isn't country. Okay. It's not a country song. It's not a country
What was your
song.
last sentence? You're not an authority on it.
I mean, I do have the best-selling country guitar books available on Amazon.
Look at him plugging away shamelessly.
No, this isn't a country song. It's a really interesting subject though.
It's cool, isn't it? It's like it's not quite a crossover, and the fact that it pushed so far up the charts to then be disqualified for someone who is a known producer and musician in the country scene to go, well, why not? Fuck it. So the second version with Billy Ray Cyrus is just him singing the chorus pretty much.
Sure.
And like one verse in the middle of it, just an extended version. Nothing really else changed.
Well, let me ask you a question, right?
Please.
Why is this a country song?
It's all about horses. That's what matters to me.
Is that how that works?
Well,
So if a jazz band make a song where the singer's singing about slaying dragons, is that a metal song now?
I hope so. I would fucking love that. Most jazz is instrumental anyway, so I don't imagine.
Most jazz is instrumental, but that's not to say
Not
that
all of it, I know. I understand.
that singers aren't.
I'm not going to
I mean,
dismiss Nina
jazz
Simone,
only
etc.
became popular because of singers.
Of course, of course.
Yeah.
It's just I'm not. I don't think the song's great. It's got a good wee hook, and it's not quite an ambitious crossover, but
Yeah.
I like how it was people voting for it. It became this on the country charts. That magazine disqualified it, and someone who is part of the music industry went, wait a minute,
Yep.
you might be a fucking magazine, and you might have control over what goes into your magazine and what's in this charts, but let's not fucking make out that you are the be all and end all.
Sure.
People have voted for this because they like the song,
Sure.
and they consider it part of this genre because it kind of fits the aesthetic and the sound of it. Not necessarily like, it's not country guitars. It doesn't have fucking like lap steels or anything through it.
Yeah.
It is like trap.
Yes.
It's a rap song.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. And actually, when you watch that last video where the video for it is Red Dead Redemption,
Aye.
you watch that and you're like, this could easily have been a song written and inspired by Red Dead Redemption.
It probably
just
is.
because you love the game Red Dead Redemption doesn't mean that you love country music.
But he's not claiming he's a country musician or that he
Absolutely.
loves country. He's
So-
just released a song and someone else has came out and went, well, fuck it. But the reason I mentioned Miley Cyrus is wild and obviously has fingers in many pies, as the
Yep.
saying goes. Do you think she's facilitated this being re-released?
But potentially she could have done the hookup
I mean, I can see that happening.
because she's the one with fingers in both of those pies.
That's it, you know what I mean? Dad, do you want to be on this song? It'll give your career a good boost. It'll be really good for Lil Nas X. I'll get to hear the song that I like, potentially, if that's what she thinks of it. And, well, it's a bridge between two communities that maybe wouldn't have had before.
Right, I'm gonna check this version now.
177 million views.
Yeah,
That is outrageous.
still not country music.
Is that because it samples 9 Inch Nails?
I completely forgot that.
There you go.
That's not why. Instantly more country.
Is that because he's white? Are you racist?
Yeah.
He sounds a bit like Chris Cornell in this.
Oh,
It's just the same song.
this is. He's redone the vocal there.
Think so?
Pretty certain he's redone the vocal there because he sounds like he's put more of a southern drawl on his voice, which makes it sound a little bit more country.
Didn't he AB it? I never noticed personally.
Old Town Road.
Yes. But when I first heard it and then I heard what had happened, I thought that's a really interesting thing to talk to you about.
Yeah.
Because obviously you've got...
I could be totally wrong on that, but maybe it's because Billy had just sang.
I think that might be it. I couldn't say comfortably.
So this is your chorus. No, yeah, that's a bit Southern drawl in that too.
Aye. So it's just the context of having Billy Cyrus on it that changes it for you. That's interesting.
Well, no. I still wouldn't say it's country. It's more country.
No.
It's like James Hetfield, or what's that fucking name? Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga singing with Metallica. Is it pop now? Well, it's pop because
it's Metallica.
Metallica. But yeah, James Hetfield sings in a funk band. Is it metal now? Just because it's a funk song with yeah.
I can't think of anything worse.
Yeah, no, me neither.
Genuinely can't.
But
no, like my point isn't that this qualifies it for country music. My point is that it's an ambitious crossover, and it's nice to see someone who has a reputation and has tenure in that genre say, why are we dismissing this? Why are we not doing more to facilitate people who want to be part of this music scene?
Yep.
And do something different?
Because he doesn't want to be part of that music scene.
Why does he not?
He wants to make rap music. That's what he's making. He doesn't want to make a country record.
He sings on this.
He would have made a country.
He's not rapping.
No, I'm talking about Lil Nas X.
But how do you know that he doesn't want to be involved in that genre?
Because if he wanted to be involved in that genre, he would have made a country song.
But
he just wants to make music.
Well, whatever you want to call it. My point is that it doesn't have to have a border. It doesn't have to be pigeonholed.
It's the
negatively
thing
or
is,
positively.
Like the whole reason we have different charts for things is to give less popular genres of music that space. Because if everything was judged by the Billboard top 200, rock and metal wouldn't exist anymore because it would be irrelevant. Rock and metal needs its own chart, just like blues needs its own chart, just like jazz needs its own chart. And if we go into that place where anybody can sing about horses and then suddenly you get thrown on the country charts, like they're just going to annihilate the country charts. Old country purists have enough of an issue with guys like Brad Paisley, who they don't deem to be country because he's too modern and pop,
too mainstream.
Yeah, same issue that you had with that you still have with Carrie Underwood. Some people would probably have even back in the day made the argument about Shania Twain. Having said that, the reason I thought this was an especially interesting subject when you brought it up is because country music as a genre has a long history of being extremely conservative and not wanting to progress. So great example of that would be, the home of live country music is the Grand Ole Opry. That's when you got to play the Grand Ole Opry for the first time. That's when you made it in country music. That's where everyone was working towards in those early days. Now, drums were banned from the Grand Ole Opry. You weren't allowed to play with drums in the Grand Ole Opry, right? Then the Western swing bands start getting bigger, and those guys had drummers in the bands, and there was a fight, an argument, a discussion, like people arguing for both sides of the case to allow a Western swing band to perform at the Grand Ole Opry and actually have a drummer in the Opry, and it did happen. Was that a good thing? Yes, of course.
Why would it not be?
But also no, because both sides are totally right. It's about preserving the culture that we had and preserving the history of what we had, but also at the same time progressing and doing new things. You can progress something so far that it is unrecognizable and become something totally
different. Would the solution not be then to have a separate chart for maybe crossover efforts?
Yes.
So that's just in the aid of progression, then, isn't it? It's like there was a similar thing in the UK. It was only a few years ago, actually. It was Stormzy being at the proms. The proms being obviously I want to say middle to upper class celebration of music and live arts. And usually it would be like classical pieces, etc. But the last couple of years they've really been pushing new artists in there. I remember seeing Beardy Man at the proms. You know, Beardy Man that does like the beatboxing and the beat creation stuff. And he was playing like Pachelbel's Canon, but he was looping himself singing it and then putting vocal effects over it and just like cool stuff. But I remember there being quite a big kick up about the fact there was going to be grime artists doing the proms. The idea being there's going to be these people from impoverished parts of London, mostly turning up in tracksuits, dressed as they should be, because that's how they dress.
Sure.
To celebrate music that was now in the charts and doing well, and there being that similar conversation. Like, do we really want to welcome this into this institution that, for no reason other than this is how we've always had it and this is the way we like it? But I don't think I'm necessarily a fan of that mindset. And I understand there is need for preserving things, but not to the point of stifling any other creative output or not allowing other people to express themselves. You know what I mean?
In this instance, though, like, instantly being told this isn't allowed to go on the country charts, do you think that's going to stifle the creativity of this? No, this is still going to hit. No, like, I've heard it twice. It's cool.
It's catchy.
I see why it's popular. I see
catchy.
why people like it. I do see why people like it. It's going to hit number one in the pop chart, like as it has. Like,
therefore, I think it fits the idea of having some sort of crossover chart. If that were a thing that were ever
introduced. Is that not what the pop chart is? Is that not what the Billboard chart is? It's like everything thrown together.
I don't remember hearing any metal songs on the pop chart or jazz.
Yeah, but that's for no reason other than it's not because they're not allowed. It's because they're not popular enough. They don't rise up those ranks. The Billboard 200, everything qualifies for that. No one goes, oh no, you don't belong on this chart.
But I would think there's also a matter of marketing and stuff behind it. This wasn't necessarily marketed to make mega money. This was released independently and made traction through social media, as I said, through TikTok, which is just another name for Vine. It's the newer version of it, but a musical version.
Yeah.
And then went for there. Obviously, it was picked up. I think it was Columbia Records was who picked it up. And then it was dismissed, so it would have been still released, but dismissed as a serious song, and then Billy put a bit of clout behind it.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a really, really interesting subject.
It's the most ambitious crossover of 2019. That's what I would say.
I
mean, you've got Trent Reznor in the fucking writing credits.
Yeah.
Trent Reznor, Billy Ray Cyrus, and Lil Nas X.
Yeah, for me...
I'd love to hear an album with the three of them, just because you've got Trent Reznor's kind of weird, ambient, alternative... I don't know how to describe it other than industrial, like, knowledge and his production knowledge. And whether you like 9 Inch Nails or not, they are fantastic when it comes to texture and music and like dynamics. You've then got obviously Billy Cyrus, who even just on a personal level is a lot of clout because he's very well known. And then Lil Nas X, who is a musician that I don't really know much about. I don't know the guy. I don't know if he's very well established or if this is a one-off, like just 1 in a million perfect hit or what. Who knows? I like the idea of things just being a wee bit different, being a wee bit of a push, because it's technically this should be quite underground. You know what I mean? It's not really the kind of thing you could openly market to someone and they'd be like, "Oh, that's good," until they hear it. If I'd say to you, right, I'm going to put on a song that's deemed country, but it's a man rapping over 9 Inch Nails samples, you'd be like, why? Just switch off.
Would it like? It's that last bit where like it's deemed country by who?
By the people. It was voted into the country charts by people. By people
Country
who listen to
fans.
it. Do they need to be?
Well, yeah, totally.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they totally do. Of course they do. I can't see why they wouldn't. I cannot see. I can't like.
So, do you speak on behalf of every person that listens to country music then to say that that's not country music?
Yes. Yeah, and I'm going to go with that. Yes,
You'd have to be the contrarian, you bastard.
I'm absolutely going to go with that to shut your argument down. No, because the same thing could easily happen in reverse. Like you could have like the rock and metal scene is not a big genre. The
in comparison
modern
to pop,
trap
you're
scene
right.
absolutely is huge, right? So if that audience decided, you know what, like the fucking Metal Hammer's annual awards thing, let's just hijack that. We'll all vote on that, and we'll all vote our favourite trap record, and that can be Metal Hammer's album of the year. Like the people voted for it, Mike. Like, yeah, this is also the best metal song of the year now.
Well,
there has to
no,
be.
No, wait a minute. What would have to happen is it'd have to be that Trent Reznor then endorses it to re-release it and do like something a wee bit different to push it into that genre.
He has endorsed it.
Well, like, kind of. He's been sampled, but my point is
He could have at any point said no.
Of course he could, but he didn't.
Like it's licensed. So,
and that's fine. Okay,
so it was
fair
endorsed.
enough.
So this is also a metal song.
If the qualifier is that it's a band who plays metal, has been sampled on it, then fine. I would accept that.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you're accepting this as both a country and a metal and a trap song. It's a country metal trap song.
I told you it's the most ambitious crossover of 2019, and I will not back down. I will die on this rock. With my hill, all right?
Okay, fine, fair enough.
This would be on the fucking grassy knoll, son.
This is what
and you're in that fucking car with the roof down. It's awfully warm in there, eh? Get your hat off.
Yeah, okay, cool. I enjoyed that. That's a really really interesting subject.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. The next one's a bit stupid.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Let's go for... so this is actually really interesting. Have you seen Dave Ellefson? I can't... So, Dave Ellefson from Megadeth.
Like, fucking OG member. Well,
yes.
not OG, but OG member.
Yeah, of course.
There for the majority of the career.
Well, when you think Megadeth, you think Dave and Dave.
Aye. I don't think of any other bassist first.
Yeah.
With no disrespect to anyone else, but Dave Ellefson did Hang at 18, played through fucking Rust in Peace.
Yep.
All of that. All of that's Dave Ellefson.
Yeah. Well, you certainly wouldn't think, like, lead guitar player, you wouldn't think there is, the one guy. They have had so many great guitar players over the years, and they are always hired guns. But you think of Dave as being part of the band, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he has just come out and said that he's a salaried member of Megadeth, and in order to have a friendship, he had to give up some ownership. How does that make you feel?
Can you read more into it? Because I'd like to know how the deal went down.
Read.
So, this is Dave Ellefson quoted, this is from Metal Sucks. From the beginning, I was always an equal owner. When Dave broke the group up in 2002, after he slept in his hand and had hand paralysis, funnily enough, because he didn't like the albums he was doing and that he wanted to have a new band, he told he wasn't allowed to do that. Sorry, in my opinion. Allegedly. We left our business matters intact. When we reformed in 2004, after we'd never play guitar again, Dave Mustaine, when he slept in his hand and it nerve damage and it was rare and he would never play guitar again and they'd break up the band, he would never play a guitar again. When we reformed in 2004, our disagreements were very much about participation and ownership of the group. Relationships are not static. People have these views of bands, I know I do as well, that when I get into a band, we will be a family, a team and a gang. It's definitely true as a group of musicians in a community. But you find that every band has its own business with personalities and hierarchies and collaborations and contributions. It is different inside each one of them. I'm not going to lie, going from being a co-founding owner to just a sideman musician was initially why I didn't come back in 2004. I was not happy with the participations that were presented to me. In recent times, coming back, I found great joy in doing music with a lot of other people in other settings that helped me fall back in love with playing music. Now I can come back into or go into musical situations and be able to be there for a purpose and level of pay. Being a sideman absolves you from being involved in all the other stuff. At this point in my life, I would rather leave that stuff on the sidelines. Like American Express says, membership has its privileges. Being a sideman has its benefits. In my case, it helps retain a friendship too. In order to have a friendship, I had to give up some ownership. So it doesn't mention how his ownership was given up and what he got in return for that financially or otherwise. But I'm not surprised that Dave Mustaine has done a shitbag move and went, it's my band. It's my PlayStation memory card and I'm going home if you don't play it the way I want to. I'm not getting the Mad Catz controller, you are.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me for him to throw tantrums. And it makes sense considering how many other financial ventures Dave's managed to go on since then. His guitar camp, his wine, his other endorsements.
Dave does put a really good spin on it, and I can kind of see the perspective. Like, not having to deal with the stress.
That's a fucking man scorned trying to say it's not that bad. I mean, I could not be in the band.
No, well, so I am, yeah. But he chose to not be in the band. He chose to not come back.
No.
And then eventually came back.
I don't believe that for a second. I think what happened was Dave dissolved the band after obviously his tragic accident where he never played guitar again in 2002. And then in 2004 when he decided that he could play guitar again because his tragic accident was actually alright, he would have invited Dave back, but salaried. He wouldn't have said, you're a co-founder,
sure,
you're my partner.
And Dave chose to say no.
Yeah, but he was kind of held at ransom. It wasn't really his choice. Like, you can come back and make some money, or you're not in the band at all and you don't get considered anything to do with it except your previous royalties.
Yep.
Why? Like, Dave was loyal to Megadeth for a lot of years. That's how he's known.
Of course. Yeah.
So why would he
But so I'm not putting a positive spin on it. I think it's
No, you're playing
interesting.
contrarian yet again.
Well, I think what Dave has said is very interesting, but I was actually gonna shoot it down and prove it to be a bunch of bollocks before I was so rudely interrupted. Smart ass.
That's me. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to have natural conversation like you were wanting.
Yeah. I'd like you to naturally shut up, motherfucker.
How do you naturally shut up?
I certainly don't know.
What's their opinion?
So, initially, I think on the surface, what Dave says is a really interesting concept, because being involved in the business side of the band is an additional thing that you have to deal with.
Of course.
And to have all of that removed in return for a decent salary may, at a certain point in your life, may be really appealing.
Did he say decent salary?
He didn't say decent, but I would assume.
Well, see, that's where it kind of... There's a grey line for me. Sorry to interrupt. Continue. Sorry.
Like one more sentence, I promise. But with all of that taken into account, like, membership has its privileges, ownership has responsibilities, but when your band is Megadeth and it makes as much money as Megadeth, you can delegate those responsibilities to a manager. You don't. None of that's actually a problem.
Yep. And it's not as if the band doesn't have any tenure or business links to rely on either.
It's not like Dave is required to sit down and do the accounts.
Knowing Davey probably does.
Yeah. Bass Dave, not guitar Dave.
Oh, sorry.
It's not a huge responsibility.
I honestly think it's a man trying to see the silver lining in the cloud.
Yeah.
Like, at least I'm still part of Megadeth.
Yes.
And no one before this really would have known that he wasn't still considered a founding member and a co-partner in the band.
Well, let's draw a comparison to another band that Megadeth have a long storied history with, and a bass player in that band.
Def Leppard.
Yeah, that was the one. Why you do this?
Sorry, Metallica.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Robert joining Metallica. Mm-hmm. He's in Metallica, yeah?
Mr. Trujillo. Well, is he?
As far as I'm aware, yeah.
Does it count as equal membership? I mean, I dare say he'll get what do you call it, writing credits on the stuff that he's written, if he's written anything. Is he considered a co-member? Because I don't think that was extended to Jason Newsted for all the time he was in the band.
And was that not... that was one of the issues?
That was a massive issue. They had him in the band, and as far as if I remember from watching Some Kind of Monster years and years ago, there was this hidden or quiet animosity from the rest of the band against him, because they were all still mourning Cliff and no one had dealt with it, and they all just saw Jason as someone to take that out on.
Yeah. But if I recall, on the Some Kind of Monster documentary, when they
Cries, probably the best moment. Sorry.
No, the best moment was just recently when Kirk fell over on his wah pedal.
True. No, the best moment was they had the wah pedal installed in his shoe, the Converse. And then, remember, he created guitar pedals? They'd never seen them before.
Yeah. Well, I've seen guitar pedals, but never designed by a guitar player. Never. So as I was saying, Some Kind of Monster, when Robert is offered the place in the band, I'm sure... I've not seen that documentary since it came out, but...
Likewise.
They say to Robert there, like, we want you to know, like, this isn't just a hired gun situation. Like, you are a part of this band now, and to show you that, we're going to give you $1 million just as a welcome.
It's not a bad signing fee, is it?
That's not a bad signing fee. I could be totally... I mean, I know that he was certainly... There's that bit on the film where they say we're going to give you $1 million just as a kind of like to let you know that we take this very seriously. I mean, that's you don't get much more serious than there's £1 million. I feel like he's a co-member of Metallica, a co-owner. It may only be. Yeah, whether you've got 1% of the shares or 50%, if you're part of that, then you still are considered a member. Like, you are part of the board. You're not some hired gun. I don't remember that part in the film, but I'd like to say it's been years and years since either of us have watched it clearly. Hold that, let me have a look. With that being the case, fair enough. I mean, that's not the same scenario as what happened to Dave Ellison, sadly. Yeah. Dave Ellison had it the other way around. Oh, you were with the band for all these years and you're considered a founding member. Bye, unless you want to take a salary and give up your ownership. Now, the question is, in my mind,
was the trade-off that Dave keeps all the mechanical rights or the songwriting rights and the royalties, and that Dave Ellefson just gets a little lump of that? Is that how that works, do you think?
Yeah.
That would upset me, man. That would...
I certainly wouldn't be happy if I was in Dave's position.
Nah.
Certainly wouldn't be happy.
I'd have been raining fucking scorched earth.
And
I think this is it.
it's been a pretty long journey to get to this very moment right here. And so, by the luck of the draw, you're the first guy into the door.
I'm kind of like the guinea pig, you know. I'm like,
Please don't worry about modesty, because I think it's important that we know, what do you think you could bring to the band?
well, like I was saying, I was talking to Lars, and as far as like the performance angle of things, you know, that's all there. Right after the Ozfest, I was out with Zach Wild's band, Black Label Society, and we did 2 weeks. We did 11 shows in 14 days. We only had hotel room 2 days in 2 weeks, and maybe 3 showers in the 2 weeks. So
Very Zach Wild.
But you know, and then I had 2 overnight equipment drives on the equipment truck. You know what I mean? So like, from going
How is
from
Zach
the
Wild still
private
DIY?
jets and playing in front of 30 to 40,000 people, you know, for the Ozfest, and then going, it's fun, and it's supposed.
Come on, give him the gig.
This is the first time it's been a real pleasure.
He's well gone bald, isn't he? Look at Kirk Hammett's, the top of Kirk Hammett's head.
Being involved with different projects.
Say again, sorry?
Look at the top of Kirk Hammett's head.
Where are you
going
in
bald
your
as
life
shit.
in terms of
I guess in some way I feel kind of agenda to it. And maybe, you know, I would want to be as comfortable as possible. And I guess I have this oversensitive thing about making people in my space.
back to what the motive is? Not protecting each other.
Well, it may not have been this video.
Probably not. Doesn't matter. We can look at it for next episode.
I mean, I'm just going to keep looking while we talk.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. To be honest, I think Robert Trujillo's worth it. I think he's a phenomenal musician. He
Yeah.
clearly brings a bit of value to the band because he's a performer. He is. And if we're being totally honest, there is nothing in the Metallica back catalogue that he couldn't play. He's a phenomenal musician. And he's clearly like a true grafter for that last story. I'm basically talking about putting out on the road.
No one can hear this. This is just no.
You better turn it back to the start so we can
No,
hear
no.
ourselves.
The audio was turned down for that. No one could hear that. So
Okay, fair enough.
I'll dig that out, and maybe if I can find it, I'll post it into the video. But
Clip it in.
I'm certain it's in there. I'm certain.
Whether they said to him, you get to join the band and you're now officially part of the band, or whether that $1 million deal did go down, I think either way you'd be fucking happy.
Keep talking.
Sure. You know what else would make people happy? Just to segue quickly.
Go on. Oh yeah.
Owning one of these beautiful t-shirts. I mean, look at that. Look, that's mine and Levi's face with the Guitar Souls logo and a beautiful guitar headstock. There might be a second version coming, so these might end up being really, really rare. You might end up seeing people on like distro pages selling them for a couple of £100, you know, like they do with rare merchandise, you know, old CDs and t-shirts and stuff. You might find them on eBay. This might be your retirement. Get onto Teesprings, link below, buy yourself a t-shirt. Like, invest, dummy. Come on. Also, that's not financial advice, that's just giving you information so you can make your own informed choices. Sorry, so you're looking right back into the history of Robert Trujillo being brought onto the band.
Oh.
Ooh. I really did feel bad for Cliff. Like, sorry, not Cliff, sorry. Jason Newsted. Because he just seems to have got serious shit all the time.
Yeah.
And the band even admit it, like, he was a verbal punching bag for us, excuse me.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Very much so.
Wrong place, right time for him. But yeah.
And it's a shame too, because you watched some of the live DVDs that he's on, and he's fucking phenomenal. What a musician. There's versions of like Creep and Death where he sings the chorus, and it's better than Hetfield.
So on the subject of Metallica, and we also talked about Megadeth and the like, We talked about branding and selling stuff. Metallica are making their own skateboards.
I don't think this is the first time they've had a branded skateboard, if I'm totally honest. If memory serves correctly, there's been a few.
That wouldn't surprise me.
I'm pretty certain there was. But are they making them themselves now?
No idea.
Oh, that's a collaboration with Dogtown. Oh, sellouts everywhere.
Yep.
I'm only kidding. Like, it's interesting, and it's just, it fits right in with everything we've spoken about for the last 35, 36 episodes. Like, music and business have to come together.
Yeah.
And in a market where it's hard enough to try and make money touring and selling merchandise, your main squeeze, then any other revenue stream is a good thing. $140 for the deck. I mean, I don't know how comparative that is to other ones, but Dogtown are an OG skateboard brand. They make good stuff. The chances are that the actual graphics themselves will be fantastic. So,
yeah,
it doesn't seem like they've went down a shitty AliExpress route.
Sure.
These cost £6 to make, but we'll sell them for 140.
But
so
it's just it's that kind of, you've got a brand. Where is the line of when you don't want to put it on something? I think when your business is as big as Metallica, there's not a line. But we know who's even worse for it, don't we?
Who? Tell me.
Come on.
Tell me.
Who will put their name on absolutely anything in the metal community?
And there's quite a few, but I'm trying to think who you mean.
Who would the quite a few be? Who has their brand on everything that they could possibly... The owner of said brand, I'm not going to say the band, let's say the owner of the band, will put this band's name on absolutely anything, and even worse than that, the fans will buy it.
Kiss.
Okay, fair point. I was thinking metal rather than but
sorry,
Kiss are probably actually even worse.
So there's another one. Oh yeah, I did see this. By the way, UK only.
Is it?
Yep, £100. I know, for a bottle of Jägermeister. For anyone that's not watching, Jägermeister have released a limited edition Slayer bottle. I think there's 500 of them. And it's to commemorate Slayer's performance at the UK's Download Festival next month. So you get a 1.75 litre bottle of Jägermeister with a custom label. It's a custom shaped bottle as well. It says Jägermeister and Slayer on it with some artwork, and it comes in a wooden display box, or a gift box. The box is pretty cool, to be fair, but I would not spend £100 on a bottle of Jägermeister, personally. Don't buy one.
And I can say this because he won't be watching, but I absolutely would buy one of these for Doug, and I would keep it for a time when he deserved a £100 present.
Oh,
like a wedding present or something.
That's cute.
Yeah. So I will. I'll probably check up on that. Actually, I've got to buy a fucking house, so I probably shouldn't do that. Bastard.
House, 100 bottle pounds of Jaeger.
No.
Is that your birthday? Aye, the 4th of the 44th month, 1991, or whatever the fuck you put in.
Let's have a look. So, that's sold
gone.
Out. All sold out. Of course it is. If there's only 500 bottles, right? Yeah.
They've been out for about a couple of weeks as well, so I'd imagine there'll be quite a few people have just dived right on that. But what a moneymaker!
Oh, let's eBay it.
What a moneymaker!
Yeah.
Much as a bottle of Jägermeister, 75 CL is what, like 20 quid?
Yeah.
So you're talking 30 quid worth of Jaeger retail price and a 70 quid for a box. You can't sell alcohol on eBay.
Can you not?
No. Even whiskey collectors have to sell the bottle and the whiskey comes free, decanted or unopened.
Okay.
Because you need to pay VAT on alcohol and tobacco, you can't sell those things.
Okay.
Or you need to be like VAT registered or whatever. So you can't sell them privately, which is quite hard for people who collect whiskies. Makes it black market.
I collect whiskies.
Unintentionally. You're giving them and don't fucking drink them.
Yeah.
To be fair, man, I wouldn't want to drink your cupboard.
No. You'd die.
George Best would have died.
Yeah. Dragon Force, Herman Lee is auctioning off a prototype custom Ibanez guitar for charity.
The only way he could sell it.
Isn't that nice of him?
That is, to be fair. Good on him.
Isn't that good of him? What a good
He's
cunt.
been live streaming quite a lot. Him and fucking Jared Dines and Matt Heafy seem to be all kind of up in each other's shit. It's for charity, man. Like, that's the only way that could have made the money.
And
Please
to be fair,
screen.
people have actually bid on it. Sorry, I had actually just assumed that was like a starting price.
No, that's
but no,
quite a lot of bids.
It's had 77 bids on it, and at the time of us talking to you today, it is at $17,250.
That's good. I think that is a really nice thing. Provided all that money goes to the charity.
What's the charity?
It was. You need to go back to it. I'm not sure exactly.
I'm going to do a Rob Chapman here and say that charity's had enough money.
Pardon? Oh, it's to go to a family. So 100% of the proceeds of this auction will go to benefit the Spice family. Earlier this year, Cody was diagnosed with Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, an extremely rare and fatal brain disease. According to the Mayo Clinic, Creutzfeldt-Jakob, sorry, that's how you pronounce it, disease is a degenerative brain disorder that leads to dementia and ultimately death. Symptoms of Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease can resemble those of other dementia-like brain disorders such as Alzheimer's. Worldwide, 1 case is diagnosed per 1 million people, and death usually occurs within a year.
Jesus.
That's fucking hard, and it's really nice of him to put that money forward, because by the sounds of it, considering they're talking dollars, his family are in the States, and we all know that your health is ransomed to financial amounts when you stay in the States.
Yes.
You can't even get an ambulance free. Oh, a medical emergency, $2,000, please.
Well, to be fair, we don't either. We just pay it in tax,
Completely different. You don't get hit with a bill for it.
but we still do pay for it. Like it's not free.
Yep, it's socialised healthcare. It's not the same.
But we
Of
do
course,
agree.
it's not free. Nothing's free in life.
Yes.
However, there are better ways to deal with it than here is a bill for your life.
Yes. Yes. Well, yeah. It's not free.
You're playing contrarian yet again.
Well,
I like it. To be fair to you.
this is me. This is what I do. Cool. So let's just follow up on the PledgeMusic situation.
Yes. Something that's a bit of a silver lining to a cloud. It's not massively great, but at least it shows a bit of commitment from a musician to their fans.
Yeah, so Steve Vai posted on his Facebook a few days ago, hey folks, Steve here. I just wanted to let you all know that in regards to the Gen Axe PledgeMusic campaign, Gen Axe management has been working to acquire and verify records detailing who ordered what's been fulfilled to date, and what still needs to be fulfilled for the Gen Axe and Jamathon campaigns. Gen Axe is still owed a huge sum of money from PledgeMusic that we assume will never be paid out. So, like you and many other artists and their fans who are facing the same problematic situation, we feel robbed as well. All of your money is unfortunately still with Pledge and did not make it to us for the purpose of fulfilling your orders. At this time, Gen Axe management is working on some kind of solution or partial solution for the people who have graciously contributed to the ill-fated Pledge campaign. In regards to those who have supported the Big Mama Jamma Jamathon Pledge campaign, I can promise you that I will be fulfilling the Jamathon orders at my own personal expense as soon as we get all of the accounting done and I finish mixing the albums. I truly appreciate everyone who supported both of these campaigns. Thanks for your patience. Stay tuned for more info on all of this soon. In the meantime, I can't wait for all of you to hear the recently finished Gen Axe live album. Thank you.
Good guy, Steve Vai.
Yeah.
Genuinely good guy, Steve Vai. That's...
Yeah.
I'll take it out of my own pocket because some dodgy cunt has taken the money and run, and there's no way we're getting it back. And if we do, brilliant, I'll recoup my costs. If not, fuck it, I'd rather look after fans.
Yep. I think it's good guy Steve Vai. It's a shame that those are two separate paragraphs, you know. One of these is guaranteed. I will personally fulfill these. Mm-hmm. One of them is maybe.
I think... I haven't seen both of them, to be fair, but I would only imagine that being the PledgeMusic campaign for Gen Axe would be way bigger than the Big Mama Jamma Jamathon.
Yep.
Financial commitment.
Let's have a look.
Because I think that would be where he's drawn the line, or necessarily it might be that Steve is involved or has the ownership of the Big Mama Jamma Jamathon, and that Generation Axe is obviously him and Tosin, etc., all in one. What a fucked situation, man. Absolutely fucked. So we'll just need to see what was the... Oh, even better, Steve's paying out for that one because it's a benefits concert.
Ah, okay.
Which, even better. Look at that.
I think with Pledge,
Steve Vai radiates big dick energy.
They don't tell you. They don't give you exact figures of how much money's been made. So
doesn't matter. Like, look at that list.
Yep. Well, I mean, not that this makes everything better, but let's be clear. Like, Steve Vai is not hard up for money.
He's not, but he's not under any actual force or full commitment to make that money up that he hasn't got himself.
Well, I mean, he of course he is under no legal obligation to do that, but at the same time, it would be a PR disaster if, like, I know many artists in this situation will go, not our fault, PledgeMusic's fault, not our fault, PledgeMusic's fault, right? But your fans won't eat that. They won't enjoy eating that.
I don't even think it's necessarily about the fans. I think Steve has went, right, this isn't just like an album for general fans that I can make it up to with the next album.
Yeah.
This is a fundraiser for, but what said there, I think it was for impoverished families who have to do foster care costs, etc. So not only is it going to cost him, he's then making other people's lives better who maybe don't have that kind of security.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's a nice nod to people who maybe have came from impoverished backgrounds and having a hard time and who already get fucked over in multiple ways, for him to go, nah, the circumstances are shit, but we'll do what we can.
Yeah. Yeah, good guy Steve Vai.
Radiates big dick energy.
I like that as a name. Good guy Steve Vai.
Good guy Steve Vai.
Cool, so what's this other story that you've got planned for me?
Right, so we're talking about ambitious crossovers, obviously. That's the kind of theme for my two, right?
Okay.
And this is going to sound like it's really quite ignorant as a comment. What's the most American thing you've ever seen a musician do?
It's got to be something Ted Nugent did. I don't know.
What, like write a song about fucking underage girls?
Yeah, while shooting an animal and flying an American flag like this.
And talking about being a patriot even though he ran away from his consignment? That guy? Him? Aye, piece of shit. Oh, sorry, excuse me. I must have said something there. Sorry.
Allegedly.
No, it's not allegedly. It happened. However, allegedly. Right, so I came across this and laughed hard.
Okay, yep.
There is a man who does covers of the bass drums of songs using actual assault rifles.
That's pretty American.
Here's some metal songs. Let me shoot along with them. In time. So, his YouTube name is Gun Drummer. It's fucking outrageous. So the first one I saw was After the Burials Behold the Crown, right? This is a weird song. It's gentle with a lot of pinches in it.
Does it have the original music over it?
It does. So we'll need to mute it. However, you guys will find this stuff either through the Ultimate Guitar article, which is called Watch Lamb of God and After the Burial songs covered with actual assault rifles, or you can look up Gun Drummer on YouTube.
So this is the original?
No, this is After the Burials Behold the Crown. Yep. No, maybe this is the Laid to Rest one. That's Laid to Rest.
Played on drums.
So far. Just imagine a soaring eagle. I mean, I think that the truly mesmerising part is his dual wielding M60 or M4s, whatever they are. Like two carbine rifles just hip firing. I mean, I think the last time I saw that was fucking Rambo.
In fact, you know what? Like, I'm gonna put that on again. I don't know why. For some reason, I might not be able to include the audio, but I can certainly include the video of that.
Oh man, like seeing it is enough. You know, seeing is believing.
Man playing on drums, and then
a marching drummer. Flawless. Do you think this man did this just so there's a further argument for not any more stringent gun control in
taking
America?
away guns, yeah.
You can't take my gun, I write music with it.
That's the best argument I've ever seen for not taking away guns. Right there. This man is an artist.
It is. This is high art. Bjork's going to do an album with him.
Wonderful. Right, let me hear it. The other side.
Oh man. He's like headbanging along as well.
Yep, that is one of the best things I have seen all week.
Round of applause, America. Round of applause.
Yeah, that is
Mr. Gun Drummer, fantastic. there's no chance you're listening, but if someone hooks us up with the guy, I'd love to hear your thought process on that and what your next covers are going to be, and if you're ever going to get into like fully automatic so you can play some death metal.
I stay out of arguments like that, like pro anti-gun things. Stay out of politics on Facebook.
I think that's because you're like me. If I'm not fucking with your shit, don't fuck with mine.
Of course,
within reason.
But I got involved in one the other day purely because I saw someone who was ex-military, and he'd responded to someone's pro-gun thing with his "I can shut this argument down in one question," right? I can ask you one question that you can't answer, which is, give me one reason why you need an AR-15, why a civilian needs an AR-15. And he just kept going down this point of like why someone needs an AR-15. And I had to respond. I'm like, I can shut your argument down in one question too, or by pointing out one simple thing. And that's that you've presupposed that the reason that somebody should have something is their need to have it.
Necessity.
Rather than their want to have something, right? I don't need a car that can travel over 100 miles an hour. Don't need it. But I want it. I don't need as many guitars as I have, right? But I want it. And part of living in a free country and being free is to be able to have things that you don't need, but you just want them. And I signed that off sincerely from the guy who I made no comment on whether I was pro or anti-gun, but just signed it off as the person that lives in a country where I am not allowed to have things that I may want. So be careful what you wish for, people out there. If you're going to make an argument, pro or anti-gun, make a better one than what someone needs. It's what someone wants. This guy wants to use guns to make glorious YouTube videos. And I commend him for it. I thoroughly enjoyed that. That's probably my highlight of the show. That was the second one where he's just the gunning. Not so cool. The first one where he's playing, I thought that they were going to be two separate clips. No. One of him playing on drums, then him doing the same thing with guns. But to play it on the drum and then to pick up the guns, wonderful.
Didn't have the safety on though. Absolutely no safety procedures. And that's where I would say, you get marks off, gun drummer. That's bad gun etiquette.
Gun drummer, you are my hero.
That's class, to be fair. It's stupid. Like, that's not about need either. That's obviously about want. I want to use my guns as bass drums.
No. That's something I want, but until I saw it, I didn't realise that I needed it.
I can just imagine you at like the clay shooting with a camera, trying to do some sort of fucking song with just two shots and then quickly reloading.
Yeah. I will actually throw my hat into the ring on that one. Like, I am pro gun control, and I think gun control is a good thing.
Yeah,
but have better reasons than.
I think the reason sense in it is
you don't need that.
Yeah, it's not you shouldn't have it. It's that people that have them should be thoroughly background checked and they should be well better controlled.
Yes,
which is the same as the UK. You can't buy a gun because you don't have a need for it. But a lot of farmers who have gun licenses probably don't need them either. It's a just in case, but I want one just in case.
Yes. And I feel that that's where we should be in this country too. Like,
well, I mean, we haven't had any major shootings in a while, so
that is true.
Just saying.
Is that why?
I think it's definitely a contributing factor.
It will be a contributing factor, yeah. But like, if I had a gun, would I go out and shoot people with it? No.
Don't know, would you?
Probably not.
It depends.
Yeah, it depends on the day of the week, I guess. Yeah.
Tell me why I don't like Mondays. What's the other one? Fucking Pumped Up Kicks. That song's about school shooting.
I'm just sitting here and thinking of all the creative things I could do in music if I had a gun. So here's a fun one for you. We need licenses in Scotland for air rifles.
Yes, which came into effect 2014 or something like that. It's only the last couple of years.
Did I tell you that Marcus applied for one and it got rejected?
Oh, I wonder why.
It got rejected because he has on his record
a hate speech conviction.
No. On his record he has a conviction for drinking in the streets. 15 years ago.
Do you want one better than that? Do you know Quig?
Yeah.
Quig can't go to the States because he's got a firearms offence on his record for having a BB gun when he was 15 in the street and the police turning up. Somebody phoned it in like it was a legit threat, and I think it was outside the library,
right?
In Wishaw Library.
Yeah.
And like teams swept
team,
him. Like I don't know if it's a SWAT team, but there was like a serious response.
It must have been armed response. If
they believed
plastic
someone gun with an orange ring, which was the law,
But if they believed that there was a potential that he had a firearm, it would have been an armed response team. I saw the same thing happen in Ipswich, actually.
See, the thing is that I wasn't there. I've just heard the story from Mark, and the chances are there might have been waiting in the wings somewhere else if they weren't visibly present. But you're not. You're right. Like, I think
he would, like, you're probably right. They would have been out of sight. Certainly not to exacerbate the situation. They would have been, but he will have had a gun pointed on him.
Probably.
Because when the police say, "Excuse me, sir," if he reaches for it, he's downed.
I don't know if it's the same in the UK. I think we always shoot to incapacitate, not to kill.
Yeah,
I think it's non-lethal.
When I say he's downed, I don't mean dead. Like
no, like it's like a shot in the leg or whatever, or a shoulder. I get you.
So because you that's actually the point that I constantly make. Actually, when you see all of these like anti-police brutality videos and police shootings and things, I'm like, I'm not a police officer. You don't know. Like, you don't know what you do in a situation. Like, it's so easy watching a video back to go, yeah, but he obviously didn't have a gun. I look at them and I'm like, cool. I also look at this and go, he obviously didn't have a gun. But when I'm that police officer in that moment, I don't think it's let's just fucking shoot this guy. I think that your life is constantly on the line, and you are hypersensitive to. You probably are more likely to overreact in a situation. Cool, this guy's going for his ID, but there could be a genuine fucking like panic of shit. This is it. I need to protect myself.
I think for the majority of cases, and I don't speak for anyone at all apart from just my own opinions. I think for the majority of cases, that's just a physical reaction. It's not thought out. It's not premeditated. I think as you said, it's a panic. It's a reaction. They just see something happen. Your body reacts. Some people fight, some people flight.
Yeah.
I would think the majority, even those who have the flight reaction, if they were holding a weapon, a way to neutralise that, you would pull the trigger without knowing. Yeah,
you go for flight, but you also aim to stop the thing from chasing you.
I can't say that I wouldn't do the same, and I don't mean that in any ignorant or horrible way, and that I don't respect life or think that that's a valuable or a reasonable response. But
we are deep programmed to protect our own well-being. Yeah, and there's your anti. We've done both sides now. We can be anti-gun for that reason, because that would put you in that position where you constantly could have that. You need to protect yourself.
I'm just going to quote the Terminator: "It's in our nature to destroy ourselves.
Okay. It's in our nature to destroy each other. It's in our nature to kill.
Yep, Papa Roach stole Terminator for a quote for what song's that again? Blood Brothers.
Yeah, maybe.
It is. Just reminds me of Tony Hawk's, man. Oh my god.
Yeah. That's actually what I was thinking when I said it. I couldn't even think who did it, and as soon as you went Papa Roach, I'm like, oh yeah.
That's Papa Roach. It's Blood Brothers. That's the song.
Cool. So 2 more things just to close the show up with. But before we do that, why don't we just make another mid-roll? It's not really mid-roll, but just a huge thank you to our supporters and sponsors, the guys over at Ormsby. Big thanks to those guys. We really do like. It's hard, like, making a show to entertain people, and it's an amazing feeling knowing that people watch the show.
It's even more hard knowing that people don't understand a word I say. So I'm just here rambling for myself and Levi, and maybe the occasional 2 people who listen from Scotland that go, oh, I know that.
It is a constant question in my mind of, should I employ somebody to dub your voice?
I was thinking about closed captions. I'll just do them myself.
It takes so long, mate.
Fuck that.
I did it for an old Guitar Souls a long time ago. I subtitled Kendo's voice because it just took way too long. And I can check the stats of who clicks on the closed captions, and it just wasn't enough for it to be viable. But anyway, to have a decent portion of people actually listening to the show, I feel that we're actually moving in the direction now where the Guitar Souls videos consistently are more reliable than my non-Guitar Souls videos on my YouTube channel. So that's really cool.
We can consider that we have a fan base.
Yeah,
and thank you very much to everybody, whether you listen, whether you watch, whether you put it on in the car for something as background noise, whether you put it on to terrorise animals and just the garden and just like play it out like a tannoy system. If you've bought a t-shirt, if you haven't bought a t-shirt, if you leave comments, if you leave abuse for Levi and I, if you re-upload the videos to Pornhub with funny captions and titles, whatever you do, thank you.
Yeah. But more importantly, to be in a position like that, and also for a brand to have taken notice and taken us seriously, that says to me a lot of good things about said brand. So a great way to support the show is to support companies that take chances on independent, smaller content creators like ourselves. So if you are in the market for any, I mean, you've got the 6-string things. I'm not going to say Perry doesn't make great 6-strings, but again, on that multi-scale front, like if you are looking for a 7 or 8-string guitar and you don't want to like financially break yourself, but you still want a top quality instrument, go and check out the Ormsby stuff.
Yeah.
You'll be pleased.
I played Chris Sen from Volvodinia and Technopath's 8-string Goliath when we met up at Death Feast in Germany when he was playing with his other band Zalvig, and what an instrument, man.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. And I think he had us in like double drop E.
Okay.
You know, like standard tune 8-string but like a drop E.
Yeah.
And like that extra scale length, just no wobble in the string, you get no fucking frequency spill, to steal that term again, whoever it was that came up with it, that's fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
Just I love it. I absolutely love it. Like,
yeah, it's the way to go. I just really do feel it is. The other option, of course, is the Evertune, but they're different and they give you different results.
Yeah.
And I'm very much a guy that likes all tools. I like to have all of the tools available to me.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, a multi-scale thing is just, big fan. How can you not be? It's just magnifico. So yeah, I'm hoping to get my hands on a 7-string hype in purple.
I'm excited to see that, because that is, to be honest, until the Metal X and the Metal Run turned up, that was what I was looking at as well. Like that purple is beautiful, man.
Honestly, though, immediate regret that I didn't go for a Goliath. Immediate regret.
Get one then.
Because the Goliath is so cool. It really is. Like, of your two guitars, your Goliath is better than the hype. It's just...
I love the hype, but that Goliath is just, it's indestructible. It's just, it's light, it's snappy, the tone from it's great. It's beautiful to play acoustic. It's just, for me, it's just great. Like I can't fault it.
I went for the hype just because I'm a Super Strat guy. Always have been like that. Well, I'm a Telly guy, but...
Say you that bought a Hydra.
Yeah, well, that was me experimenting with that, and I love this guitar, but this is a headless Super Strat.
True, very true.
Yeah.
I can't really argue with that.
But that kind of super modern design, like the Strandberg thing, that obviously the Goliath has taken influence from, like, yeah, they're cool. They grow on me more and more every day, because when I do have to spend hours in front of my computer working, I usually, when I'm doing videos, I use a Telecaster, but when I'm sat in front of the computer and I need a guitar, and if I'm teaching a lot, I go for the Hydra, because it's lightweight and it helps. Just having that strapped on your neck for 5 hours in a row, like, yeah, lightweight is better. And
It's just right, isn't it?
the Goliath is a lot lighter than the Hydra.
You've not played Kieran's hype yet, have you? The neon green one with
no.
the maple neck? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, Levi.
We'll have to have him over, and then we can have 5 Ormsbys on the wall.
Oh, baby boy. I'm sure Kieran won't mind us taking a load of it either. It's good to note that mine's is a Run 1, so Kieran's has got the updated hardware. I think the bridge is slightly different, and it's also got a slightly different neck shape.
Okay.
And it's just, so yours will be the same as that one, which is just...
Cool. Right, so we have 2 more things to talk about. We are going to laugh at Johnny Depp, because of course we are.
Not just for the haircut and the outfit.
And talk about famous famous non-musicians.
Who are musicians as well.
Who are musicians as well. Very loosely in this, as...
He holds an instrument.
Yeah.
Therefore, musician.
Yeah, this is especially egregious to me, being a slide player.
I mean, he's...
Well, that was a racket.
That is enough. I honestly think if we gave Finlay one of my guitars on a slide, he would do a better job.
Yeah, that's That's the worst I can think of, to be honest. And that surprises me because I know Johnny plays, but I figured he could maybe play a bit better than that. But
I mean, maybe his ears didn't work that night.
Yeah.
Because that's the only real excuse. Just a total segue, I'm talking about Finlay. Yesterday, him and I were in the house before he went to his dad's, and he's got like an electric toy guitar and an electric toy keyboard. And she's like, Mike, you play that, let's be a band. And me and him were playing music together, and I started playing this song on the guitar. And he was like, no, don't sing that. Don't you do that ever again. He gave me a row. Okay, wee man, that's fine.
was it that Not Country song?
Old Town Road.
That's the one.
I gonna take that course down Old Town Road. No. I'll show you the video later.
Okay. Yeah, cool. So other people that are in that world, there's like a couple of notable ones.
Steven Seagal with Thunderbox.
I don't even know what his band's name is.
Sure, it's Thunderbox, and as far as I know, he's pretty good. Not, I don't mean like he's like you would held him as some sort of good musician. I just mean he's not shit.
Well, I don't know if you remember this, but a couple of years ago he was playing Glasgow, and I was trying to encourage you to come. I was trying to encourage everybody to come to go and see Steven Seagal. Not to laugh at Steven Seagal, but because his guitar player at the time was Red Volkart, who is I've got the Red Volkart Telly Twang DVD there. He was
good.
Mel Haggard's guitar player. Like he's
Alright, so he's alright.
He's a really good country guitar player.
It's not bad.
Yeah. So an opportunity to go and see Red Volkart, but ultimately I couldn't bring myself to go and see Steven Seagal. So yeah, he's a really interesting character. Allegedly, an absolute charlatan when it comes to martial arts.
Because I think it's like fucking. I don't even know what it is he studies. Like
Bollocks.
Tai Chi or something.
Bollocks. If you go on YouTube and look up like Steven Seagal exposed videos, there's a lot.
But I don't think he claims to be some sort of mega incredible fighter, does he? Because I just understand that
he does.
He's proud of his martial arts achievements in terms of belts, etc., and that he plays a hard man in films. But does he make it like he's a really good fighter?
Yeah, he makes out like he's an expert, like a world class master of various martial arts.
Because I had never seen any material like that. Any exposure I've had to him was him.
Yeah.
When he was talking in any sort of sense, was more that he was proud of the discipline that he's shown to get to that level, not that he was. I could take Bear Grylls and snap his neck with one hand kind of material.
Yeah, no, you absolutely check out like Steven Seagal exposed videos.
Sounds good.
If you want to laugh.
I love watching like martial arts exposed when it's like people who say they can move your body through kinetic power or they can take any hit, and then you've got guys that do MMA like punching them unconscious and stuff. I mean, I don't take great pride in people who are obviously mentally ill being beat up, but why would you support someone who says they can control you with like the power of their body movements? Like they just breathe properly and you fall over and stuff. No, they don't.
Yeah.
Don't humour this idiot, because you're going to get him killed in the street.
Yeah.
It's a much safer environment for him to learn that that's not true until somebody tries to mug him in the street, and then he's like, get away from my car. And the person goes, stab in the throat. So,
Fusroda. Screaming at someone.
Fusroda. I never even played Skyrim.
No, me neither. Yeah, I own it, but
nah. Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas are the only games I need. The game for Bethesda, and they're buggy enough.
See, I thought you just meant in general. Those are the only games you ever need. I've decided the only game that you ever need is Age of Empires 2.
Great.
Which I've gone back to playing for some reason.
No.
No, why not?
No, not for me.
No?
No, I'm not. The only kind of top-down strategy games I've ever played that I got into was Command and Conquer, and that was quite a few years ago.
Okay.
I've been playing the new Hitman though.
Okay, I feel like I bought that. I do own it.
I've got Hitman and Hitman 2. I hadn't completed Hitman. I hadn't done all the missions, so I had 2 to finish when I got Hitman 2, and I'm now 1. I think I'm on the second mission or something. And I love the storylines for Hitman. Very, very well done.
Yeah, the last one I played was Absolution. I got a platinum trophy in that, and
Absolution.
I enjoyed it.
I love how it started with you in the whatever it is, like the kind of church or whatever, and it's Ave Maria. And you're lying. Like
Yeah.
Beautiful, man. I told Nancy about that because we were watching something when Ave Maria come on. I was like, this just reminds me of what I think is probably the best artistic crossover into a computer game and film that I can think of, because it's almost.
Did you then show the promo clip for that game where he gets fucking hijacked by like 6 ninja assassin nuns and he batters them all?
No, I forgot about that.
Murders fuck out of like 7 women.
Yes!
That didn't go down well.
The ultimate gentleman. That's him.
Yeah. So just other musicians. The other one that popped into my mind was Keith Sutherland, who I have not listened to any of his
He
music.
had a signature Gibson, did he not?
Yeah, he had a signature Gibson, which is crazy. Hugh Laurie as well.
Hugh Laurie is a fantastic musician. I've actually seen him a few times with Jules Holland.
Okay.
Actually, the two of them performing together. And I think he plays piano as well as plays guitar. And he's pretty good. I mean, Hugh Laurie's pretty good at anything he does.
Yeah, I bought his first album when it came out many years ago. It's okay. It's an old timey blues album. So, but yeah, couldn't. We were very on the spot when we were trying to think of musicians, non-musicians that are also musicians. So we reach out to you guys, our listeners, and we would love to know your suggestions because we're going to kick ourselves. I know we're going to kick ourselves.
Russell Crowe?
So I know that he plays, but how serious a player is he? Are you just going for a list?
I've got the Belfast Telegraph Digital.
Yeah, fuck that.
He currently performs with The Orderly Fear of God, an amalgamation of two bands he was previously part of, Great Big Sea and 30 Odd Foot of Grunts.
Neil Buchanan.
Very good one. Plays in the band Marseille, the rock and roll band. Try it yourself.
Neil Buchanan.
For those
That's
that
very much a British.
Oh yeah, and like 90s British. Anyone that's just underage might not know. There was a TV programme in the UK called Art Attack, and it was Neil Buchanan, who was the host, trademark red jumper and kind of like almost permed hair.
Short perm.
Yeah, not quite a mullet, but in that vein. And he hosted this show that was for, I would say for kids, but obviously they wanted parents to get involved as well, because there's parts of it where they would say ask a parent to do this or cut this up or whatever. Where they would just show you like arts and crafts things they would do, whether it be a daft picture or practical stuff, and then they would be like the big art attacks where they would do them in like fields or whatever. So they would take big tarpaulins and fucking wood and lots of waste, and then they would make something on the ground and it would look like he's just making a mess, and then it would zoom out into the sky and there'd be a beautiful big picture or something. But as it turns out, Neil Buchanan's also a rock and roll star, and he plays in a rock band called Marseille. It's...
There you go. So Neil, I'm going to go with that. But yeah, if anyone else can think of anyone in that vein that for not being a musician that also is a guitar player in something, that'd be cool to hear. So
yeah, get the suggestions in, because I can't think of any. I'm on the spot and I'm just like, nope, I won't.
Also, I'm looking at these magazines. I just want to talk about them before we hit that 2-hour mark.
Let's do it.
So a couple more Total Guitar magazines to look at.
Thanks, Craig. Thank you,
Craig.
Craig
I
and my
have
band.
February 2007 here, and the thing that jumped out to me when looking at this is on the cover it says 44 bands guaranteed to tear you a new one in 2007.
Nice.
So I'm absolutely itching to get to that.
You would dive in, and I have episode. I keep saying that, man. I can't help myself. This is the issue from May 2009 with Mastodon on the cover. Total Guitar. Couple of things in here. Nothing really mega exciting. I mean, Counting Crows talking about 3 guitarists can be a mess unless you work as a unit, but that's the Counting Crows, so we'll discard that. However, the very, very last page is Charlie Burchill from Simple Minds talking about his worldview. And this caught my eye because, first of all, he's playing a beautiful natural Telecaster, and he's for Glasgow, so there's a little...
Hang on, was that the really nice Telecaster that you thought I'd enjoy?
No, there's a James
good. I was
Truscott
gonna
as
say, 'cause
well.
That's garbage.
That's garbage?
Yeah.
What do you think's garbage about that?
The natural look on it, and the fact it doesn't have a scratch plate.
Shut your filthy mouth.
And it's being played by a dirty Glaswegian.
Get out my country. Fair enough.
I've said this many times, even on the podcast. When you crossed over that threshold into my house, you are now in a sovereign part of England. So, yeah. Just want this article. Is this it?
You can suck in my sovereign balls. That's what you can do. Did you find it?
I think this is it.
With the Cooks.
Hottest guitar bands of 2007. There we go.
Definitely not the Cooks.
So I'm going to reel off these bands, and you tell me how hot these are on a scale of 1 to 10. The Kooks.
Sadly not on fire.
Yeah. These arms are snakes.
Never heard of them.
Ghosts of 1,000.
Never heard of them.
The Blackout.
The only Blackout I know was Blackout Crew, who wrote Put a Donk on it, and that's shit, so...
The Legacy.
Unknown. Ironic name, given there is no legacy to them.
Medina Lake.
Medina Lake were terrible.
Cancer Bats.
They seem to have done well for themselves. I'm not a fan per se. I think I like that they're doing well or have done well, but
Gallows.
not for me. Again, another band that's done very well for themselves. Not the kind of music I'm into.
And it's Shikari.
They've now turned into Black Mirror, the musical. But when they first came out, I wasn't really big on the kind of rave/screamo crossover.
It's worth pointing out I am reading the punk and hardcore section, so
Yeah.
untitled musical project.
Who's that?
Yeah.
Never heard of them.
Municipal Waste.
Not a big fan.
And We Are Carnivores.
Pass.
I like their name. Okay, under the rock section, we have Blood Red Shoes,
Never heard of them.
Fortune Drive,
Never heard of them.
Some Velvet Morning,
Never heard of them.
Four Thieves,
Never heard of them.
McQueen,
Never heard of them.
Sign.
Never. How are these the hottest bands?
I know
Nobody
this
knows
is
them.
this is the point, right? This is how well this has aged. The Noisettes,
Never heard of them.
Heart Attacks,
Never heard of them.
Wolf and Cub,
Never heard of them.
Look, See Proof,
Never heard of them.
Murder by Death.
Shit name. Never heard of them. That's just 2 pages of bands you don't know about and will never care about.
That will tear you a new one in 2007. So indie alternative,
Okay.
Seal Cub Clubbing Club.
Good
I
name.
love the name.
Great name. But they play indie, so
Yeah, for an indie band, that's just seems a little bit off. Ripcord,
I tell you what the problem is here. It doesn't have the word "that" in the front.
yeah, the Seal Cub Clubbing Club.
That's how they're
that
not
works
famous.
better.
That's how they're not famous.
So I was going to say Ripcord, but let's go the Ripcord.
Unknown.
The Pigeon Detectives.
Heard of them. To be fair, we could skip these 2 pages because I am not indie or alternative in any way.
All right, I'll blast
However-
through 'em.
No, let's go. Let's
The
keep going.
Films.
Shite.
Cold War Kids.
Shite.
Ghosts.
Shite. I don't know any of these bands. I'm just going by the fact that they're indie.
The Rumble Strips.
Ignorantly. The Rumble Strips.
Yeah.
You named your band after a piece of motorway that stops you crashing if you fall asleep at the wheel. You're that boring. You named yourself after something that stops you falling asleep and
A
dying
safety
in the
measure.
car.
Yeah. The View.
No for me.
The Twang.
No for me.
The Neutrinos.
No for me.
And Klaxons.
No for me.
Okay, so now we're under metal.
I'll probably know these bands.
Silosis.
I have seen them live and they are pretty good.
Cool. I've not had them.
I heard Silosis. It's like,
You forget I'm not a metal guy.
I think you would like it. Like
Yeah.
tremendously clean production, very, very well played. Like a tight band. First album's kind of thrashy, almost like if Trivium's earlier stuff was more actual thrash than it was kind of metalcore. Later stuff gets a bit more shreddy. It's pretty good.
Okay.
Their singer left and the guitarist decided he was doing vocals instead. And some of the fucking stuff he plays while he's singing is outrageous.
All right, next up we have one of the hottest crossover bands in the history of metal and country music. Job for a Cowboy.
Wanna take my horse down. That's probably peaked your mic to death, sorry. I love Job for a Cowboy. I loved their last album before they went on hiatus, which was called Sun Eater. Remember I Let You Hear It?
Yep.
With the ridiculous bass lines.
I forget that was Job for a Cowboy. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was good.
They've got a new band, the guitarists, and I think someone else. It's like almost like a super group. I don't remember the name. Something of Gnosis. There's only been a leaked trailer of like one of the tracks. It's about 2 minutes long, and it's fucking outrageous. So yes,
Devil Sold His Soul.
Ben
Aranda?
Errander.
No idea.
Something to do with errands. Never heard of them, but they can go and make the tea.
The Receiving End of Sirens.
What does that even mean? What does it mean?
Everyone is on the receiving end of a siren when it goes off. No one's on the giving end of a siren.
That's it.
End Well.
Well, they didn't end well. Not heard of them.
Cry for Silence.
Not heard of them.
Darth.
I know who Darth are because you've got Emil Wester playing guitar for them.
Yep.
I'm not well versed in the band, but I know the name, so they have actually made an impact. And I know that Emil is a ridiculous guitarist.
Under Why You Should Care, they've gone with Their Name Reminds You of Darth Vader.
I mean, it's total guitar.
Yeah.
You can't expect journalistic integrity and good patter.
Sanctity.
Sack them. Don't know, not heard of them.
Fear Before the March of Flames.
That sounds like a Trivium song title.
They're just trying to throw as many metal terms in as they can.
Yeah.
That's it.
Is that it?
That's the extent.
So how many unstoppable tracks did you hear in there and bands that would blow your cock off? Was there maybe 2 that we recognised?
I remember the Pigeon Detectives, but I don't remember any of the songs. So, yeah. Total Guitar missing the mark again, in my opinion. In my humble, well-known for being humble opinion.
You're not wrong. So on this one, they've got Splurge, Save or Steal. Each month, Total Guitar brings you 3 killer axes at budgets to suit every pocket. This month is Distressed Guitars. First one being a Spear, kind of Les Paul shape. Not for me. We've had this conversation about Distressed and Road Worn. I'm not particularly interested in it unless it's been done or done very well. The example being your friend that did your...
Oh, the Carson Hess, yeah.
That's right, yep. Fair play. That guy does his stuff and knows his stuff, and obviously it's a labour of love. It's not like a let's drag this through the ground and pretend. It's fantastic.
Yep.
Then the second option is a Road Worn 50s Telecaster from Fender.
Is this the one I'm going to enjoy?
I think so. And Cream, which is meh. But then the James Trussett.
Yeah, I'm not crazy on the Cream for tellies.
No?
Let's have a look. So, I think when I think about them, I mean, my Fender 50s Road Worn Telecaster, that's what my main Telecaster is. I think when it comes to Cream ones, I would buy an original, like a vintage. Cream vintage would be fine. But if I'm going to get one that's pretending to be old, no, I wouldn't go with Cream.
Is that not the point in just about everything that's road worn, pretending to be old?
Yes. But I mean, if it's not going to be the genuine article, then I'll go for a colour that I actually enjoy.
Okay.
Whereas if it was a genuine vintage instrument, I'd be okay with Cream.
So you're saying like you can see past the fact it's not your favourite colour if it's original?
That's a good way.
Okay, fair enough. That's a good way to put it. That's fair enough. And then the Splurge is the James Trussett Steelcaster, which just looks to me like a Fender Squire Obey. And that's partially why I like it. I always thought the James Trussetts were really interesting.
I have 2 cool things in here. So we get to see the evolution of bare knuckle pickups adverts. I feel this one is still a garbage advert.
Of course.
But it is now full page. So this is 2007. So we're going back over 10 years.
I think Spiral Direct did the advertising.
Bare knuckle pickups, hand wound in the UK, putting the horns into metal.
Stop it.
Like, what does that even mean? And then there's a skull with a badly BKP put on top of it, a badly placed BKP put on top of it. So, not crazy on that. There's also a review in here of the Yamaha CV820WB West Borland.
It just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
I know. £1,300. It's a lot of money for that.
For a strange Floyd Rose equipped.
But you know what? Fucking hell, right? It's a 4-page review. You do not see that in Total Guitar very often.
Nope.
So
especially not to result in a 4 out of 5 stars.
Yeah. Gave it 4 stars for real imagination in the design and stellar performance, and against limited access to top frets. And does it look rock enough?
Why are you bothered about limited access to the top frets? It's a West Borland model. The best you're going to is 12. You're playing an octave, maybe.
What's the is the locking nut?
It's their own device for the locking nut. That there's like a control on the side that just spins and locks it.
Okay.
And it's also finger locks for the bridge. I remember reading this at the time and thinking that's some cool innovation, but nothing ever came of it. So essentially it's a Floyd Rose, but it's Yamaha's own build on a Floyd Rose.
Twist. Cool.
Which is cool. It's interesting.
So there you go.
The thing about the Charlie Burchill article that got me is he keeps referencing Scotland, and he's referencing Celtic and Rangers quite a bit. And that obviously goes back to they were talking about the divide of that being like kind of almost tribalistic in this area of Scotland, or Scotland in general. And given that he's in such a large band, it's quite interesting to see him not necessarily like a rock band per se. They're kind of like a big stadium pop band, aren't they? Really, Simple Minds. If I'm not being totally blasphemous there. But he's obviously talking to Total Guitar and talking about his experiences. That picture is taken of him. Looks like he's already in like a fucking amphitheatre or something. So the first point they're talking about is that size matters. So to quote, playing stadiums can be overwhelming because you're looking at a sea of heads. But when you hit a chord, you wouldn't believe the sheer power and volume. There's nothing in life that compares. I'd say it might even be better than scoring the winning goal for Celtic FC, because there's a more harmonious thing going. Because there's nothing more harmonious thing going on at a rock and roll gig than a football match, and less violence, especially in Glasgow. You're selling at crowds in the world, and you have to bring us down. Come on, Charlie.
He's right though, is he? Is he not?
I'm not saying he isn't. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Coincidences happen. In the 80s, people commented that I sound like The Edge, but he actually told me he'd taken the sound from me. We were contemporaries and great friends, and I think we just stumbled on rhythmic echoes at the same time. We're both influenced by experimental German music, krautrock, which is all about using the guitar for loops and making it atmospheric and rhythmic. So if there's any similarity between our styles, that's where the origins lie. That's quite interesting. It's not very often you hear people making a nod and telling you like their influences are the same as this person. We're not influenced by each other.
Well, I like that you're interested in this interview because he's from Glasgow.
There's more.
But dancing over the fact that he's the people that we would describe him as similar to would be The Edge.
I know why.
Well,
Well,
that's
that's
in the bin.
I didn't describe him as similar to The
Okay.
Edge.
He better say
Pardon.
something really interesting, or I'm editing this out.
Okay then. I don't know. Music is the real beautiful game. We've been to a few Celtic and Rangers football matches, and normally you have that feeling of anxiety because it's a hostile atmosphere, especially if you're known for your partisan support of a certain club, i.e. Celtic. So it was weird when the band went to Glasgow to play the Ibrox Stadium of our rival team, Rangers. There was none of that tension. I'd much rather be in a rock band than a footballer.
He's really into his football, isn't he?
Clearly.
Yeah.
One of hoops. I don't support football, by the way, for anybody that cares.
Yeah.
I'm just being an arse.
Yep. That's what you do. You're being a guitar soul.
That's me. That's
Cool.
it, baby. Love to.
And that brings us to the end of what, 36? Episode 36?
I think so. I mean,
Yeah.
we're not far off.
Well, you have shared 2 hours with us, people, and hopefully you have enjoyed that time very much.
We're going to get
Always
to ASMR mode.
Much as we've enjoyed doing it.
Sorry.
Thank you very much.
I love you all.
We love you.
Things are really nice here because you have good friends, and you are our good friends.
Go and buy a t-shirt.
I love plosives. Plosives.
Penis. Ruined it.
Flaps.
We took it too far. For those that are not watching, I've been offended right now.
Yeah, so as always, please do like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your enemies. If you're listening to us on SoundCloud, or if you're listening to us on iTunes or Spotify, wherever you can, leave us reviews, comments. We're always reading comments. We're happy to give feedback. Actually, I have some feedback for you.
Oh!
On the last episode, we were doing the A to Z of Shred,
Yes.
and under F, it was Floyd Rose, but other Fs, one of them was Favoured Nations. And then you said, never heard of them. Now, I wasn't sure if that was a flippant comment, but somebody pointed out that is, of course, is Steve Vai's record label.
Oh, I
Favoured
didn't know that.
Nations. Yeah,
I
Favoured
didn't
Nations.
know that at all.
Steve Vai's record label. You know, that put out Guitardo's album and Matthias Eklund's solo albums. And
Okay, that's definitely to do with guitar, so fair enough.
Super guitar-y.
Super.
I didn't spot it at the time. Someone even commented and said Favoured Nations is Steve Vai's label, and I was like, "What are you talking about?"
And then you realised.
He had to give me a time code for what he's talking about.
That's good though. It's funny you mentioned Daniel Guitardo. I'd forgotten all about him, and then I went back to watch Cardiology. Fucking hell, man. Fucking hell. Like, that's just phenomenal.
Yep. I would encourage people to check out his second album. Is it Non Temperato, I believe it's called. Because it's obviously guitar is featured, but whereas his first album sounds like it's an instrumental guitar album, your classic 80s instrumental guitar thing, the guitar is very much for front and center.
Yes.
On Non Temperato, it's a lot more classical in style, where it's about the piece.
Yes.
Although the guitar is featured, there's far fewer like "here's me in the spotlight" moments. It's a beautiful album.
Well, I mean, Cardiology, the actual backing track itself is fantastic, but the one thing that stands out obviously is the lead guitar, because that's the main melody, and then the solos. So I'd be really interested to hear, actually.
Yeah,
I quite like it.
there's
And
tons of great songs on that first album, like fucking Marrakesh Market or Guitar Spray goes. They're nice because they're super guitar-y pieces. But yeah, Non Temperato, I'm sure that's called. I would recommend you check that out. It's very
that sounds good. And also you mentioned Matthias Eklund, the man that touches fucking anything and turns it to gold.
Yeah, I feel like Marty Friedman's had some albums on Favored Nations as well. I could
Yeah,
be wrong on that,
that's
but
cool.
Favored Nations they put out a lot. They put out a lot of albums. So again, Steve Vai, good guy.
Thank you for the feedback, and thank you for the feedback.
Yeah, no worries.
Sweet as a nut.
So give us more feedback. We are always reading and watching. Anyway, ready for this one?
No.
Until next time.
Bye, fuckers.